Have you ever wondered what our world will look like in 50 years? What legacy are we leaving for our children? And will the decisions we make today be enough to create a sustainable future? From shrinking rainforests, oceans filled with plastic waste, to an increasingly suffocating atmosphere, all these remind us that time waits for no one. Yet, amid these challenges, history has shown that we humans have the power to rise, adapt, and innovate. Today, let us embark on a journey through time and space to listen to the whispers from the past, the silent reminders of doom, and the precious lessons from forgotten civilizations. Imagine the people of Easter Island cutting down the last ancient tree without realizing they were sealing the fate of their future. Or the Dutch, who, despite the challenges of living below sea level, built sturdy dikes and turned their land into one of the most sustainable agricultural regions in the world. These stories are not only lessons of loss, but also vivid examples of human perseverance and creativity. But that is not all. We will also explore the actions of extraordinary individuals, those who stood up amidst adversity to change the world. Like Wangari Maathai with the Green Belt movement, where she and her community planted millions of trees to restore Kenya's ecosystem. Or Greta Thunberg, who ignited the spirit of environmental activism in millions of hearts around the world. These stories show us that no matter how harsh the circumstances, the power of will and determination can bring about monumental changes. Let us embark on this journey, where every story from the past is a reminder, and every action today is a seed of hope for the future. Let us learn, reflect, and act together, for only when we understand the values we are protecting can we truly bring about change. The future is what we build from today. And now, let us turn back time to learn from the mistakes, victories, and small but mighty hopes our ancestors have left behind. Throughout history, humanity has faced many crises and challenges that threatened our very existence. These silent warnings from time remind us of the value of our environment and the precious resources we have. The story of Easter Island is a clear example of how unsustainable resource exploitation can lead to serious consequences. When the first trees were cut down to make boats and houses, no one realized that the ecosystem was being destroyed little by little until it was too late. The story of Easter Island began when the first settlers arrived on the island, bringing with them hopes and dreams of a better life. They exploited resources, cutting down all the ancient trees to build houses and boats, without considering the long-term consequences. When the last trees were cut, the people lost their most important resource for sustaining life. The ecosystem was destroyed, the land became barren, and internal conflicts over resources began to escalate, leading to the collapse of a once thriving civilization. According to archaeological studies, the island was once home to thousands, but ultimately, only the Moai statues and desolation remain. But we also have other, more positive lessons. Take the story of the Dutch, a nation whose land is largely below sea level. Instead of resigning themselves to being threatened by floods, the Dutch gradually built a complex system of dikes, using creativity and perseverance to overcome their challenges. The Dutch system of sea dikes and pumping stations not only protected their land, but also allowed agriculture to flourish, making the Netherlands one of the most modern and sustainable agricultural nations in the world. In fact, the Netherlands is now the second largest agricultural exporter globally, after the United States, thanks to the use of advanced technology and effective water resource management. Another clear example is their use of modern greenhouses with water recycling systems, saving up to 90% of water compared to traditional methods. Another example of the power of innovation and creativity is the city of Curitiba in Brazil. Faced with rapid urbanization issues, Curitiba found a sustainable approach to tackle transportation and environmental challenges. Instead of building an expensive metro system, the city developed a bus rapid transit BRT system at a much lower cost, but with great efficiency. This system not only helped reduce environmental pollution, but also served as a model for dozens of cities worldwide. Moreover, let us consider the transformation in the Scandinavian countries, where a focus on renewable energy and sustainability has reshaped society. Sweden, for instance, has committed to becoming fossil fuel-free by 2045. This commitment is backed by innovations like the Kungsbacka recycling plant, which turns plastic waste into new materials, and urban planning that encourages the use of bicycles and public transportation over cars. Similarly, Denmark is a leader in wind energy, generating nearly half of its electricity from wind turbines. These efforts show how determined policies and consistent action can lead to substantial progress in environmental sustainability. It is also inspiring to look at Bhutan, a small Himalayan nation that has set gross national happiness (GAN) as a measure of success, rather than gross domestic product (GDP). Bhutan's commitment to environmental conservation is reflected in its constitutional requirement to maintain at least 60% of the country under forest cover. In fact, Bhutan is one of the few carbon-negative countries in the world, meaning it absorbs more carbon dioxide than it emits. This approach demonstrates how integrating happiness and sustainability into governance can have a positive impact on both people and the planet. It is evident that lessons from the past are invaluable. We can recognize that to create a sustainable future, we need to make the right decisions starting now. Recycling plastic waste into building materials is one such example. Newly invented materials, such as bricks made from recycled plastic, not only help reduce waste, but also save natural resources. For instance, a startup in Mexico has developed high durability, low-cost bricks from recycled plastic, helping reduce environmental pollution and providing building materials for impoverished areas. Similarly, the use of renewable energy sources like solar and wind power plays an important role in reducing negative environmental impacts and ensuring a greener future. Germany is a prime example, having successfully transitioned over 40% of its electricity production to renewable energy and aiming for 100% by 2050. Additionally, Iceland is a leading country in harnessing geothermal energy. With nearly all of its electricity and heating derived from geothermal and hydropower, Iceland is an excellent example of effectively utilizing natural resources to generate clean energy, reducing carbon emissions, and protecting the environment. There are also stories written by individuals striving to change the world through their actions. People like Wangari Maathai in Kenya, who founded the Green Belt movement, planting millions of trees to restore ecosystems and raise community awareness of the importance of the environment. This movement not only helped plant over 51 million trees across Africa, but also created jobs for thousands of local women, contributing to poverty reduction and empowering women. Or the story of Greta Thunberg, a young teenager tirelessly fighting against climate change, significantly influencing global political decisions. The Fridays for Future movement she started has spread worldwide, attracting millions to join protests, demanding stronger government action in protecting the planet. Another example is Boyan Slat, a young Dutch inventor who founded the Ocean Cleanup Organization. He developed a system to clean plastic waste from the oceans, with the hope of removing the majority of plastic pollution from our oceans. His efforts have drawn global attention and helped raise awareness about the problem of plastic pollution. We must also mention the work of Dr. Vandana Shiva, an environmental activist from India, who has been a vocal advocate for biodiversity and sustainable agriculture. She has fought against the harmful practices of multinational corporations and promoted the use of indigenous seeds and organic farming methods to ensure food sovereignty. Her efforts have empowered many farmers in India and other developing countries to resist unsustainable agricultural practices and embrace more environmentally friendly alternatives. Let us not forget the rewilding projects taking place around the world. In Scotland, the Allerdally Wilderness Reserve has been working on restoring natural habitats by reintroducing native species and allowing the land to return to its natural state. Similar initiatives are taking place in North America, where conservationists are working to reintroduce species like the gray wolf to Yellowstone National Park, helping to restore balance to the ecosystem. These efforts remind us of the importance of biodiversity and how restoring nature can have far-reaching positive effects. We have realized that the silent whispers of time are the words of wisdom for those who are willing to listen. Our future depends on the decisions we make today. Learning from the past so as not to repeat old mistakes is of utmost importance. The world is at a crossroads, and the choices we make now will shape the future for generations to come. We have the power to create a sustainable future if we act with courage, creativity, and compassion. It is up to us to learn from the examples set by countries, communities, and individuals who have shown that change is possible. Can we build a sustainable future together? What do you think about the challenges we are facing? In light of these historical stories, how will we act? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you find this message meaningful and wish to continue exploring fascinating stories about how we can change the world, don't forget to follow my channel. Let us spread positive values and stay tuned for upcoming episodes, where we will continue our journey to seek solutions for a better future.